So I woke up this morning, Andrew, little bit of a hangover, but not too bad. I had a good time watching the wrestling last night, and then I saw that I was doing news with the most evil man on the planet, and you know my day is already ruined.
What? Why am I the most evil man on the planet?
Yeah,
like, what's happened?
Show us your finger. What's happened there?
I was cooking, and then I cut some spring onion, and then I sliced like the top of it, and it's nearly come off. But it's fine.
Finally. Anyway, hi, I'm Adam. This is Evil Andrew, and this is your wrestling news. The real reason for a recent WWE title change has been revealed. Who were the WrestleMania Backlash zombies? And we got an update on the reported heat between AEW EVPs. Stay tuned! So, kicking things off, on Friday night we saw something absolutely monumental as for the first time in her WWE career, 11 years... Nobody's talking about Natalya here. Tamina captured a proper title. She had previously held the 24/7 title, of course, but now she is one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. And we have the reason why. And it's Ross, essentially.
It is pretty much Ross.
It's actually pretty much Ross. So, according to Meltzer, the push and subsequent title win of Tamina is due to the strong reaction that she received at WrestleMania 37. He said, Tamina's push came because fans started chanting her name at WrestleMania, the one night or the two nights that you actually have fans, and WWE went with it. That was one of the stories at WrestleMania. Cult reason or whatever, irony or whatever, the crowd got behind her and the decision was made to push her, irony or whatever.
There you go.
Yeah, well, you know what? Fair play to her. Seriously, fair play to her. Because this is the best she's been in 11 years. Everybody, all of the wrestlers I've seen, WWE superstars have been tweeting, being like, oh, love hearts everywhere. They're really, really happy for her. And yeah, you know what? It's a really good thing that WWE have listened to the fans.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking as well. That's the first thing. Well, obviously, other than congratulations to Tamina, but like
and
that
Natalya.
Goes to show that they do actually listen to people, which is
Sometimes
we don't think about
that. The whole thing is putting smiles on faces. They quite often don't seem to listen to the vocal majority of their fan base. But no, there you go. It's really good and good for her. I hope they hold them for a while. I hope that they manage to elevate those titles as a proper unit and it doesn't devolve into just Natalya versus Tamina in 2 months' time. Because, fair play to them. Seriously, fair play to them. And fair play to Ross as well for being the one ultimately responsible for that. Next up, sticking with WWE. WWE have changed their pay-per-view schedule a little. Isn't that right, Andrew?
It is, yeah. So we usually see Money in the Bank around about June, but this is not the case this year. So last night at WrestleMania Backlash, WWE, they ran an advert for Hell in a Cell, which is going to take place on June the 20th. So that's what's coming first.
October.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've really pushed this forward. I've got a theory here, and my theory is that they want to do, just like we saw Jey Uso versus Roman last year in the Cell, great match. I think they're going to do Jimmy Uso versus Roman in the Cell, but they don't want to wait all the way until October because that storyline's really starting to heat up. So I think they've brought it forward a little bit due to that particular reason. It's one of those things with Hell in a Cell. We talk about this quite a lot, but it's always been a quite frustrating thing. It's like, October's coming, and now they've got to find some feuds to put in Hell in a Cell, when really Hell in a Cell should sort of happen very organically and be this big blow-off when the feud is hot enough and it is necessary. But instead, hey, October's coming around. Stick a few in the Cell. But yeah, are you excited? That also means that Money in the Bank will probably be in front of an audience, is the apparent plan.
And that was my thinking, was that obviously they'll wait until there's an audience because perhaps they've got big plans for the people that are going to win the briefcases as well, and they just want that huge pop. And I think Money in the Bank is benefited more from having a crowd there too, to build people who get the briefcase and stuff, and you just get that whole atmosphere. Like it's always incredible. But I am excited for Hell in a Cell. Now that you said that, I didn't really think about the whole feud thing, and that does make sense. And to see sort of Jimmy and Roman, the storyline there, sort of progress forward and stuff, and see what Jay ends up doing too, I think that's really exciting. So yes, I am excited for it.
That's good. You don't deserve to watch those matches, but sure. We have an update on the supposed infighting now between AEW EVPs. If you are unfamiliar with this story, numerous reports have now circulated that unnamed EVPs, but it can only be 4 people, the Bucks, Kenny, Cody, there's a bit of infighting. They're not getting on very well, and Meltzer has weighed in on the Wrestling Observer message board. Andrew, what's he said?
So he said, anyway, nobody isn't talking to each other. Does that make sense?
It's in like, because people were saying that, they're not even talking right now.
Okay.
He's saying, they're chatting, it's all right.
I
It's
get
not
it.
got there yet.
It's not got there yet. He goes on to
Not
say,
like
it's
you and I
impossible.
off screen.
I love tea. That's a good cup. Anyway, let me continue. It's impossible in wrestling to get everyone to agree on everything, especially when they're passionate about it. The Young Bucks and Omega are legit close personal friends. Cody is more of a business relationship with the other 3, but it's not as adversarial. It's not an adversarial one in the least, and all have the same end goals, which is to build a company that sustains and grows. They have different philosophies, but everyone in wrestling does based on when you grew up, where you grew up, and on your life experiences. He then goes on to say, but Tony runs the show, and ultimately, Tony is. It's the Tony philosophy, sorry. All want a diversified approach, and you can argue whether that's good or bad, but that is what they all seem to agree on. So there we go. Yeah.
Young Bucks recently changed their Twitter bio, poking fun at this story, saying currently not on speaking terms, as a nod to the rumours. I don't know. It just sounds like, hey, maybe they've not got on about something, but those disagreements are always going to happen in business, aren't they? That's just the way it is.
Exactly.
So we'll keep you updated if we hear any more. Over to Impact Wrestling rather now, and we got a bit of a backstage update on Don Callis. According to Fightful Select, Don Callis no longer listed as the Impact Wrestling Executive Vice President on the Anthem Sports and Entertainment website. Talents within Impact speculating that Callis has either had his role changed dramatically or is in the process of changing. But they have also been led to believe that his on-screen role alongside Kenny Omega will continue. This has been referenced on TV. D'Amore said that he sort of needs to decide whether he's an EVP or part of Omega's family. So it looks like they're going to work this into storyline, but with Scott D'Amore now being essentially the guy in charge behind the scenes, it looks like Callis is stepping down from that to go and kayfabe manage a wrestler. The stupid Mark. What's he playing at? It's a real countdown.
No, it's really good. I think this is really good, and if it's something that Don Callis wants to do, I think it's some of the best work that Don Callis has done in a lot of years, and keep pushing that forward. The guy gets heat. He gets that heel heat, Adam, and I think that's what Kenny obviously needs to build up at the moment. So when he finally does get toppled, it'll be a big deal. So yeah.
Yeah, he's been great. He really has.
Yeah.
And we are finishing things off now with zombies. So last night at WrestleMania Backlash, Damian Priest and The Miz competed in... Sorry. Oh my God. In a lumberjack match. But they weren't any regular lumberjacks. They were zombie lumberjacks, and this was all a big cross-promotion deal to plug the Netflix film Army of the Dead, starring Dave Bautista. Batista narrating the opening to the show. There was plentiful promotion on the show itself. You thought Snickers was bad in the WrestleMania Night 2 main event. If you haven't seen it, go and watch Backlash, because it was something else. And now we've got like a special themed zombie lumberjack match. We've got the identity of some of those zombies because people were asking for it. They were largely comprised of WWE Performance Center recruits. And a few of the names floating about that they have spotted, or have been spotted according to Fightful. Joe Gacy, Cal Bloom, who is the son of Matt Bloom, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Daniel Vido.
Yeah, I think so.
And they are also speculating that Jiro Kuroshio and Asha Hale may have also been involved. I hope I've pronounced those correctly. The one that I'm most familiar there with is Cal Bloom, just because I've been sort of reading up on him lately. He's a very, very impressive young man. But there you go, largely performance center recruits. It's going to be one of those things that we look back on in a few years' time, and we're all going to be going, oh my god, yeah, but Cal Bloom, do you remember at WrestleMania Backlash? He was a zombie, like we do with like Sasha and Alexa
Xavier
and Charlotte,
and
Triple
stuff.
H's entrance. Yeah, as all of the zombie, the NXT lads as the zombie. So they do this from time to time. It's a fun little thing. But it hasn't been without controversy in the wrestling world. A few people poking fun at it. One of those, Chris Jericho, saying, Zombies? Wow, that just set wrestling back 30 years. Ha ha, in reference to WWE management apparently saying that their AEW match set wrestling back 30 years. And Batista has weighed in on it as well, because he was getting a bit of flack because it was so naff. What did he say, Andrew?
Someone called Cody Allen on Twitter sent him a tweet saying, "Hey Dave, I love you, but this zombie on WWE Backlash show was insulting." And then Dave quote retweeted that and says, "WTF, you telling me? You think I booked a bunch of effing zombies? I'm on a damn plane. Shouldn't you be tweeting Vince?" So it seems like Dave knows what's going on there.
You know what? It's going to put a lot of eyes on the film. I thought it was a bit of fun. Yeah, it was naff and it was bollocks, but it didn't last too long or anything. I think people are getting more upset than they need to. And we're going to finish off with a little bit more Backlash news, WrestleMania Backlash news, as Tyson Fury and his son, Prince John James, were backstage at WrestleMania Backlash, which is obviously led to speculation that we might see Tyson Fury sooner rather than later. He's obviously been teasing a bit of an altercation with Drew McIntyre as well, leading to further speculation that they're going to do that when WWE come to the UK for a pay-per-view, if that does happen. Apparently the plans were there. They posted lots of pictures on their social media, meeting Vince McMahon, Ray, Dominic, Ric Flair, Paul Heyman, loads of other WWE superstars, and Prince John, Tyson's son, saying he's coming for a WWE contract in a few years. He tweeted, "The big boss man at WWE, I'm coming for that contract in a few years, boss." And WWE have obviously capitalized on this, putting an article on their website that reads, Fury confirmed Sunday that he would fight Anthony Joshua for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship on August 14th in Saudi Arabia. In addition to being undefeated in the boxing ring, Fury has shown he can hold his own in WWE. He might not be the only Fury interested in stepping inside the squared circle, raising the possibility of another father-son championship pairing down the road. Ooh. So there you go. Ray and Dominic obviously doing an amazing thing last night, but don't talk about them. Talk about Tyson and his weird little son. Weird little son. He's weird little son. What have I done that for? Anyway, speaking of weird little sons, Andrew, it's been a pleasure to do the news with you. You take care. Don't chop any more fingers off.
Thanks, Dad. I want to say as well, I think last night...
We don't have time.
It was a clean sweep for the EWO at the Backlash predictions.
It was.
Me and Owen.
Congratulations. We're going to have to figure out a way of... somebody needs to claim that magnificent prize. I don't want you sharing it, so... Maybe we'll do some rock, paper, scissors or suiting down the line between you and Owen. We'll figure it out. Take care. All the best. Stay tuned for more great WrestleMania Backlash content coming your way.